All right, welcome everyone to Keeping Communities Safe with AI with GANS and Actuate. Today's agenda will have a short introduction, an overview. We'll go over the integration benefits, then we'll have a technical overview, and then we'll go into verticals and use cases, and then we'll have a quick Q&A at the end. Today's speakers, we have Brian Denmead. He has been a field application engineer for GANS by CBC for a little over 16 years, and he has been our webinar superstar. We also have Dan Kopchick. He's the VP of Sales for Actuate. He is a family man and has been with Actuate a little over 4 years, almost since the beginning, and he's all about making a positive impact. And then we have Ellie Katz, and he's been with Actuate a little over 2 years, helping integrate AI into organizations.
Welcome, everybody. So we'll touch briefly upon how the Actuate and CoreTrol VMS kind of create a complementary design for the user. Basically, today's security operators, they usually have a lot of information that they have to watch and monitor. And it can be confusing. There could be actual positive events as well as false positive events. And false positive events are ones you don't necessarily want to be known or react on versus the positive or qualified events, which are the ones you really do want to basically react to. One of the great things about the Actuate and CoreTrol VMS combination is it allows security operators to be more informed when they make a decision. And being more informed allows them to make, basically to verify and take swift action when a qualified event surfaces. So from an efficiency and accuracy design, the two together, the Actuate and CoreTrol VMS, they're basically complementing the original traditional analytics. And original analytics basically gave you a description of what was happening in a video scene. Without AI, the analytics always have the potential of misinterpreting an object and saying that it's an object of interest, that it could be an animal crossing a perimeter, for argument's sake, and you can get a notification on that as a false positive, because the analytic doesn't necessarily know that you want to know when it's a person. AI brings that intelligence to that. AI allows the analytics or complements the analytics so that the monitoring agent, the security operator, will be notified, hey, this is a person and you need to take action on that event. But it will ignore the animal creating the event and not notify the security operator. And that helps bring the two together. So basically, Actuate and CoreTrol together really help with the AI to identify, classify, and confirm that the object in the scene is the one you want to be notified about. So the two together bring a solution-centric approach. In terms of consumer interest, solutions may range from detection, gun detection, intrusion, loitering, crowd detection, slip and fall, hard hat safety, and vehicle gate automation. So these are all areas where customers have interests where traditional analytics don't provide a solution that really fits and really allows them to key in on events that are specific to their interest. So some of those might be face detection, gun detection, intrusion, loitering systems. These can address some of those security concerns, and they may be related to shoplifting or other such potential threats, just to put a few in there. The AI-enabled video also allows, from a business perspective, monitoring in the retail industry or the produce industry for slip and falls. Slip and falls, as anyone knows, have a very heavy or inconvenient, at the very least, impact on the day-to-day business, and can lead to, when it's something more complicated, create a massive liability for that company. So the AI helps alleviate that concern. CoreTrol VMS integration actually make it a lot easier and more economical for companies to deploy such solutions where you have the VMS and the AI brought to bear. So it's not just analytics. Okay. Dan, I'm going to pass this one to you.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So Actuate story and mission. So our CEO and founder, Sunny Tai, was born in Taiwan, and he lived in South Africa between the ages of 7 and 13. If you didn't know, South Africa has one of the highest violent crime rates in the world. And after a friend was killed in a home invasion, his mother brought the family to the US. So Sunny served in the US Marine Corps. He rose to the rank of captain. And after serving, he earned his MBA at the Chicago Booth School of Business. And this is where he reconnected with a classmate whose sister was killed in the Las Vegas Mandalay Bay shooting. So these experiences led Sunny to found Actuate in 2018 with one mission: to create safer communities using AI software and existing security cameras to proactively identify security threats, improve response, and save lives. So what Actuate does is we turn cameras into smart cameras. Our AI gets smarter every day. The models are trained on over 1 million images in a variety of situations. We use the latest and greatest hardware that AWS provides, utilizing tools that allow us to scale, to auto scale quickly and effectively. We're also system agnostic, meaning we're integrated with nearly every platform in the market. So how does it work? Well, it's super simple. The computer vision models live on the cloud, and they use existing infrastructure, so no additional hardware is required. These models are then overlaid onto the cameras, and when motion is triggered, threats are identified in real time. In seconds, these alerts are sent to end users, security operations centers, and security and law enforcement are notified and dispatched. We identify key events in real time. So we'll identify brandished firearms from, say, small Derringer pistols up to long rifles like AR-15s. Intruder detection will alert security if a person or vehicle is anywhere they shouldn't be. If someone is loitering on your property or a crowd is forming nearby, you'll be made aware of these threats in seconds. On construction sites, we'll let you know if someone isn't wearing their hard hat, and we complement existing fire detection systems with AI fire detection software. We are always innovating. Example, we recently launched a model that detects school buses and delivery trucks, automating vehicle gates in gated communities, which reduces labor. Our most recent development is our beta slip and fall detection, which is currently being tested in the field. Oh, you're on mute, Brian.
There we go. We'll restart that one. So we'll go over some of the key features on the Quattro VMS. So it provides a solutions platform in single server and multi-server variants. Both solutions offer interactive maps, linked alarms, exceptional management of events and actions, analytic tools, support for Active Directory, cyber and data security functions, and much more than we could fit in here. So if you want to know more, definitely ask questions. Included with the multi-server, we add in a video wall, a recording server, which is part of that expansion into multi-server, failover, mirroring, and archive replication, as well as centralized management. Because who's a fan of going door to door when central management lets you have one door? Users can record, search, and view live video from multiple surveillance cameras, managed IT devices, and manage access control, all from a single platform. It's designed for use in a variety of verticals, including retail, education, healthcare, transportation, and central stations. It's also scalable and customizable to meet specific needs, with support for over 15,000 devices and over 190 manufacturers. Currently, globally, Quattro has a proven solution with over 3 million deployed and managed channels. All right, let's get a little technical overview. Ellie, we'll hand this one off to you.
Thank you. And I'm going to deep dive. I'm going to take what Dan mentioned and I'm going to deep dive a little deeper. So as Dan mentioned, our integration is pretty straightforward. There is no hardware requirements. Basically, we have an integration with the GAN's Quattro VMS. We're using its API. We connect remotely, and we can connect in various of different ways. We can either connect over the internet using whitelisting. We also support site-to-site VPN. We basically tap on the substream of every camera through the VMS, run our AI and push it to an endpoint. We support a various of different endpoints. You can see here a short list, but with basically every event management system or event management platform on the market, we can push alarms to. Just to name a few: Emix, SureView, Stages. Lately, we released also integrations with Patriot and a few more platforms. And we also going to support pushing alarms back to the VMS at some point in the near future. We don't have a lot of requirements besides getting access to the VMS. Like I mentioned, either over the internet or over site-to-site VPN. All we need is either 480p, 3 FPS for anything that is not gun or snippet or slip and fall, and 720p and 5 FPS for gun and slip and fall, which results in very low bandwidth usage. We don't stress. We can run on a lot of cameras using those specifics and don't use a lot of bandwidth. This is an example of how a detection. In this example, it's a gun detection that we did a test we did here in our office in New York. On the left side, you can see how a text message alert will look like. On the right side, you'll see how an email message would look like. When we push it to different systems, it will have different properties, but basically it will always give you the specifics of the camera, the site, the time, and the images with the bounding box around the threat, which we can see on the next slide, actually. So once you click on that link that you see on the right side, this is how it will look like. And this is me walking around with an Airsoft AR-15 here in the office in New York. You can see a bounding box around the threat, and it will just follow the threat, whether it's a person or a gun or a pistol. You just follow it, and it will give you the details of the threat inside the frame.
Yeah, let's go over some integration benefits. So Dan, this one's on you.
Thanks, Brian. So enhancing your video surveillance. With the new Actuate GAN's Coretrol partnership, integration is fast and easy. You can easily adopt remote monitoring capabilities, providing security operations with an additional layer of security. So you'll dramatically reduce false positives while proactively responding to threats using actionable intelligence. So this is basically Actuate by the numbers. We reduce overall alerts versus not using any AI by over 97%. 97%. When compared to edge analytics, like cameras with built-in AI, we reduce false positives by almost 90%. And all this with only a 1.7% misdetection rate.
All right, so let's go over some ways we're enhancing video with Actuate's AI. So one of the great things with Coretrol is we have a functionality called Crosslink, which allows us to bring the Actuate interface directly into Coretrol. And that helps keep everyone in a single or unified interface. Streamlines things. Advanced notifications within Coretrol to be notified when you get false positives as first or the false positives. And that value, of course, with the Coretrol VMS and Actuate brought together only increases. Fast response environments are possible with the combination of Coretrol VMS and Actuate, thanks to the AI side of things. The complementary technology allows for advances or deployments in emergency communication systems as well. There are a lot of different areas where this can come to be and basically can be deployed. It simplifies new installations as well as retrofitting existing ones. As mentioned, Actuate basically doesn't need any hardware. So Coretrol can take over existing hardware, or you can install new hardware depending on the deployment. And then Actuate just gets connected right up to that with no additional hardware requirements, making it a very streamlined, very easy installation. And this goes from small remote monitoring, single buildings, or even space challenge locations, all the way up to large enterprise campuses or smart cities, as well as multi-global locations. Coretrol's light hardware advantage and Actuate's cloud-based AI make this possible. It's a very strong combination together. All right, some verticals and use cases. Dan, I'm going to hand this one off to you.
Yeah, Brian, thanks. So key verticals. Well, our primary markets include remote video monitoring companies, K-12 and higher education, construction sites, and then once completed, the industrial and corporate buildings themselves that have been built, hospitals and healthcare facilities, and retailers such as consumer electronics stores and quick serve restaurants. We use AI in a variety of use cases. Example, in schools, we can detect guns before they enter the building, and certainly before a shot is fired. Intruder detection is typically used to protect campuses overnight, and crowd detection is used to alert school resource officers when fistfights and other events happen that they would want to know about. At car dealerships, we help prevent auto theft with vehicle detection, and we dramatically reduce the false alarm problem with stationary vehicles. We have a stationary vehicle filter that has fixed that industry-wide issue. Then in retail environments, we replace or enhance existing burglar alarms, and we enable law enforcement to quickly respond to armed robberies at convenience stores, pharmacies, cannabis dispensaries, and the like. As far as our existing customers, we have over 30,000 cameras deployed at over 3,300 sites. Some notable ones include identification of munitions with the U.S. Army Futures Command, which is the Department of Defense, and our firearm detection is now deployed at every public school in Puerto Rico.
All right, so that's a lot of value that's being brought to you, your security systems with the Actuate AI and the Quattro VMS. So what are some of these benefits? Accurate real-time detections, requires no additional hardware, real-time actionable quick alerts, remote monitoring capabilities with AI. So we're basically drastically reducing false positives and ensuring cost effectiveness and affordability. We're minimizing those response times, as well as improving the efficiency of remote guarding services. So that's a lot of value, and it goes without saying, basically, that type of combination can really add a lot to any security surveillance system. Okay, some Q&A. Oops, I'll go back one. Q&A. Okay, let's see what questions we have. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, if anyone has any questions on the Actuate AI or on the GAN's Quattro VMS, Dan,
Yes,
Ellie, and I are
it
here.
looks like we've got a question here. Can you explain a little more on how the face recognition works?
So the face recognition is from the Quattro side. It's a module or external service that will plug into the Quattro platform to provide face recognition. And that's useful in many environments, from retail to HR to hospitals to access control.
Okay, awesome. And just a reminder, if you're feeling a little shy, you can put in to, and then me, Elisa Watlington, to shoot your question over. We've got another question. In the gun detection built into the AI?
Yes.
Dan?
So, Ellie, maybe you might want to elaborate, but yes, the gun detection is a model. It's a computer vision model that lives on the cloud, and it is an AI model by itself that you have access to through GANs.
That's correct. Basically, just to elaborate a little bit, it's one of our products, and we can run one or many products on one camera stream. So there is no limitation for running only gun or only intruder. We can run various of different products. So it is part of, if you're using Actuate integration with guns, you'll get the gun detection as part of it, assuming that that's what you sign up for.
All right, thank you, Ellie. And we've got another question here. Just to confirm, no hardware is required for this integration?
I'll answer that real quick. So from the Quattro side, you don't have to add any additional hardware, assuming you already have the server running the Quattro software on it. The Actuate AI is essentially a cloud-based deployment, so there's no additional hardware required to make that connection, since the integration is already there.
Okay, great. All right, last call for questions before we wrap up. All right, you can go to the last slide, Brian.
All right. Actually, one quick clarification on the hardware side when we talk about small deployments. Bear in mind that the GANS Quattro, like we mentioned, is light on hardware. So you can have a very, very small server style deployment as well as have the Actuate cloud-based connection with that, which can go from anywhere from a very, very small PC NUC-like scenario and then scale up from there. So that affords you a lot of scalability and flexibility. All right. Last slide. Lisa, I'll let you walk us out.
Sure thing. So if you all have any other questions, you can feel free to email either Actuate or us, GANS, at the below emails. We'll also be sending out the recording and the presentation materials after the call, so you can expect to hear from us later today. Thank you all and have a wonderful weekend.